They took... That explains it. They took it out of the patch notes.
Yeah, it's not there.
That would explain it. God, that would explain it.
I like how people screenshot.
That's not dishonest at all, by the way.
Going crazy, yeah.
That's not dishonest at all.
To just delete it after you
just delete it after the fact.
People read.
With nothing underneath that says, by the way, we removed this because it didn't actually get fixed. We're still investigating an issue. For me, I'm on tap to interact, buddy. I know. That's day one shit. Oh, maybe that is what's happening, actually. I'm long pressing when I hit Immuni. That's possible. Because that would be both then, right? Because you'd hit the Muni first. And then since I've like pressed it in for too long, it starts the reload. Yeah, you're probably right. That's probably not a bug. If Jake hasn't seen it, then yeah, it's probably not a bug. It's probably a skill issue. Okay, I've deleted it. We are live. Welcome, boys and girls, to the Dropshot Call of Duty podcast, episode number 481. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. Today, I'm joined by Tanner, and we've got some developments to get into. Things were said, mechanics were changed. Some of the things they said were true, some of them were not.
Yeah, that happens.
Which is par for this particular course.
Yeah.
And all of which we are about to get into. So welcome to the show. We do have a good amount of stuff to get into. Excited to get into it. Some good news, some bad news, and some meh news. And some bad lack of news. That will all probably not make sense, but it does make sense. And we're going to get into it. So we do have some announcements. Stick around for the end of the show if you want to hear them. Some of which are fun and also exciting. But for now, let's get into the meat and also potatoes, which is what I always say. Starting with BO6. Season 1 patch notes. Like the video if you're on YouTube, by the way. Thanks. Whether it's short or long right now, whatever video you're on YouTube, like it. For the algorithm. I'm a YouTuber. All right. Anyway. And I don't like that I did that. We do have some patch notes to go over. So we have a couple sets for the general game, and then another set for Warzone particularly. We will start with the general. So like multiplayer, zombies, and all that stuff. And since last week, we've gotten a number of patches. How many matter? Let's find out. So December 6th, we got one, which was on Friday. Nothing that matters. Couple bug fixes, whatever. Don't care. December 10th, which was on Tuesday of this week. They write a lot more words. So starting with weapons, and this applies to multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone, they've written here, which is unusual. They write a little blurb. We've taken a comprehensive pass on weapon motion and applied reductions across the board to improve the combat experience. Depending on the class and weapons, our targets for these reductions range from 30 to 75%.
Wow.
Players will notice far more stability while turning, moving, changing stances, and firing, especially while ADS. We are committed to... I'm not going to read that because I'm not going to help them lie to you. But this was by far the most seminal change we have gotten since the integration, actually.
Yeah.
This was a huge change, and to their credit, though they deserve very little for reasons we will continue to get into, hopefully not for much longer, but certainly for today, this change was a good one. And a lot of people are, I think, talking about it. So this does apply to multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone. And basically, the TLDR is they changed the visual recoil. So one thing that's important to point out here is that there are two separate things at play when it comes to your gun's recoil. There is category A, called visual recoil, and then there's category B, which is called actual recoil. Now, the average player is never going to know the difference between these two. So if you're not someone, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably do understand this concept. But for the vast majority of players, these are not even different. But in reality, they're quite a bit different. And a good way to understand that is in this patch, we'll get into some specifics in a second. JGod made a video of shooting a bunch of guns, all with the same attachments, side by side, before the changes, these changes, and after these changes. And we recorded a Patreon episode yesterday, and I was like, I think they reduced the actual recoil as well. And I'm someone that like knows the difference, obviously. We've been doing a fucking podcast on this game for a long time. But even I got duped. Because I was like, it feels like the actual recoil also was reduced. And the patch notes may or may not indicate that that's true. But it turns out that is in fact not true, because in that video I was describing that JGod had done, he shows the visual recoil does look a lot better, but the actual recoil is exactly the same. So they really did only change visual recoil. And what a result of that is it feels way, way easier to hit a lot more of your shots. So this is a good change. However, it also makes it very obvious how little actual recoil a lot of the guns in this game have, or at least can be built to have. So if you take a Gunfighter XM4, even with a 3x optic on it, for Warzone, for example, and now that you've taken away the visual noise and all you're seeing, or most of what you're seeing, is just actual recoil, you realize how little actual recoil there is in this game. Now, by no means am I saying add the visual recoil back. That's absurd. I think, Tanner and I both think, there should be no visual recoil. The only visual recoil should just be what actual recoil the gun has. So I like that they've reduced or removed visual recoil, but now it makes it really obvious that there's very little actual recoil. Maybe too little. So we'll talk about that more, but let me just read you guys the actual details first. Weapon motion. So reduce visual recoil on all weapons, especially full auto guns. Reduce turn sway on all weapons, especially on higher magnification optics. I'm still not 100% sure what that means, but the game does feel a lot different and better. So
I'm pretty sure it's just like when you're using like the Willy Pete optic and you just turn left to right, your reticle just stays in the middle of it. Because I just so happened to see even an MW3 clip, which the MW3 gunplay actually felt good, like in Warzone last year. But I saw a clip, and that was one of the big issues there is your dot and reticle would get essentially lost in the optic every time you turn and whatnot. And it made me really realize, like, oh, wow, that is a lot better right now than it was last year. Because last year we didn't have a ton of visual recoil, like, at all. Far less than we had before they made this patch in this game. So, but yeah, it's like your little dot would just bounce around all over the place when you moved, when you just walked. It was really, really bad. So that's in a much better place now, and I'm pretty sure that's what that's referring to. Yeah.
Does it sound like my heater's on when I'm talking, Tanner? Is there like a weird rumble in the background? I will now talk. Again? Talking. Boy, am I talking. Wow. It's crazy how much I'm talking.
I'm not noticing it right now.
You can't tell? But... Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on it, Ramin. I changed it a tiny bit, but anyway. Yeah, okay. So that's whatever that means. Write better patch notes that are more clear and also tell the truth, but whatever. So here's the next one. Reduce gun kick on higher magnification optics on all weapons except for sniper rifles. So this was one of the things that led me to believe there's less actual recoil in addition to less visual recoil, because reduced gun kick, that sounds to me like there's less actual recoil when you have a higher magnification optic on your gun. Turns out that is true, but that was also true before this patch. Because like the Willis, for example, does reduce your actual gun recoil by some percentage. It doesn't tell you that in game, of course, But what's new? The VLK also reduced your actual recoil by some percentage, and the game never told us there either. So, whatever. I don't know how I feel about that. I will say if you want to do that, definitely put it as one of the pros for the attachment. But it does not seem like you get more recoil or gun kick reduction with high magnification optics now than you did before this patch. So unless they mean something else by gun kick, then this is just not true. So, cool.
Wait, do the optics even say they slow down your ADS in game?
I believe like the Willis does say that.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, it does. I guess I've never looked. Okay, so I'm looking at True Game Data, and yeah, like according to True Game Data, like the Jason Armory 2X and with the Willie Pete 3X, both of those reduce your gun kick by 30%. And then ADS time, there are slight increases to that.
Yeah. So that's a topic we actually talked about a fair amount 5 years ago. When Exclusive Ace did that video months after the game launched and said like, hey, by the way, did you guys know the VLK reduces your actual recoil? Because it's such an insane thing to do that like no one had tested it for 9 months. And then he was like, wait, this is weird. So they're back on that and they still don't talk about it.
So that's, yeah, now to think about it, that's got to be why the zoom optics feel a lot better than they did last year. Because again, we didn't have visual recoil on these guns last year, like the DTIR, things like that. They had no recoil and no visual recoil. But even then, those, when you would put zoom optics on those, they would not feel as good as the guns do right now with zoom optics. And I think it's because they didn't have any recoil control tied to them.
Yeah, it could be. So anyway, reduced default idle sway on all weapons except snipers. This was another thing that I figured would account for a change in actual recoil, not just visual recoil, but it was basically imperceptible. Although I don't know how much idle sway like an AR had before this change anyway, so whatever. But that's a good thing. Further reduced idle sway when firing on all weapons. While firing, except snipers. Reduced weapon motion, bob, translation, and additional idle sway penalties as a result of walking or changing stance in ADS. This is probably good as well. So if you're like hip fire drop shotting, your reticle isn't going to move around so much. Pretty good. I haven't noticed that, but if true, that's probably a good change. And then removed additional layers of hip fire deviation, which caused crosshair to bounce while firing. Okay. Yeah, so this is like when you tack stanced last year early on and you started firing and your crosshair would be 3 inches from the center of your screen, literally. I posted a video of it. Let's never do that again, ever, 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 ever. Let's keep the crosshair in the center of my screen. If my crosshair needs to go up and left by 2 inches, move my screen up and left 2 inches while keeping the reticle in the center, right? Right? In an FPS game, right? Makes sense, right? Yeah, obviously. So I'm glad 6 weeks after we got the integration, we have bog standard FPS 101 mechanics. They say they've brought back. I, of course, have not tested this. And let me be clear also, I am signing off on none of these patch notes being true unless otherwise explicitly stated. If I don't explicitly state that I've tested what is said and it's true, assume that it may or may not actually be in the game because they are lying at as I said in the pre-show, a blistering pace this year. A blistering pace of lies in the patch notes. So let me be clear. Again, I don't sign off on any of this unless I say I've tested it. So, or Tanner. So just to be clear. However, if that's true, good. They write more. Aiming idle sway delay is a mechanic that scales a weapon's idle sway when first entering ADS. So the initial point of aim matches the crosshair positioning. Good. These values are now improved and consistent across all weapon classes. Snipers now provide a complete reduction. As always, we'll be keeping a close eye on sniper balance after this change. Okay. And then another section on aiming idle sway delay. Aiming idle sway delay on all weapons is now 2.2 seconds. That might not sound long. That's extremely long. That means, again, if true, that makes sniping a lot better and easier. Actually, kind of insane how good that is. Like, you don't have to hold your breath for 2.2 seconds if you from when you enter ADS.
Yeah.
That's almost too long, honestly. That's an incredibly long time in an FPS game. Again, it might not sound like a long time, but think about it this way. A gun that has a fast time to kill on a fully plated enemy would be 750 milliseconds. That is less than half of the time of 2.2 seconds, which is also known as 2,200 milliseconds. That's a long time of you being perfectly on. Now, I'm not saying to lower that number necessarily, but that's a lot. That makes sniping pretty good.
The thing is, with the target laser anyways, your idle sway is almost gone as it is. Like, I was sniping on Nuketown earlier. I'm dead serious. You don't even have to hold your breath, like, ever, because there's no idle sway. That, and then there's like a handguard or something that helps with it. There are like 2 or 3 attackers that help with idle sway. You don't have to hold your breath either way, especially in this game when the maps are so small in multiplayer. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
True.
I think it's good.
True. Yeah, and then on that topic, target laser now improves aim idle sway to 2.9 seconds on all weapons. So that's pretty nasty too. So there you go. So yeah, there is actually a lot of discourse going around about this. By and large, the community is happy about this. And I, as I said earlier, am also in that camp. Most of these changes I have tested and they do seem to be true. The reduced visual recoil is extremely obvious. It's extremely obvious, and it feels like it's way easier to hit shots, both on controller, as I've done, and or as I play on, and on KBAM, as Tanner plays on. Yeah, so we've come at this from all angles, yeah. This change is more impactful for KBAM than it is for controller, but it is still impactful for both. And I'll just, because some people were talking about it earlier, to be clear, that doesn't mean KBAM is now better than controller. You're out of your mind. Aim assist is still, on balance, way better than playing on KBAM. That's why I'm playing it. But this change does help narrow that gap some. Not even close to enough, but some. So that's cool too. And then also, again, most people like this, but there was some guy on Twitter, I guess, who was like, oh, it's too easy to hit shots now. Like, add more visual recoil back again, or like revert the change or something. Who was this person?
Oh, he's only one of the best players in the CDL. Yeah.
What's his name?
Because they're brain dead fucking morons. I think that was Shotzi who said it. There's a clip going around of him, killing someone with an SMG from probably 25 meters away, tracking them perfectly as they run, and he doesn't miss any bullets. And he's like, dude, this is like too easy now. It's just too easy.
Classic.
A bunch of the CDL kids are mad. And it's so funny to hear how delusional they are. And it's like, okay, I mean, you know why it's easy, right? You know damn well why it's easy. It's the thing you're holding in your hand that you're playing with. That's why it's so easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it pissed me off so much. They are all, quite a few of them were losing their mind over this. And it pisses me off like crazy. Yeah. Another one was Arcides, however you say his stupid name. He said, this update top 2 worst. Only update that beats it is when they broke slide canceling in BO4. That's how bad he thinks removing visual recoil is. They're fucking stupid, man.
Yeah.
I can't stand them.
Yeah.
They're the worst people.
Yeah. So this is exactly why I pointed out at the outset here that you have to keep in mind there are 2 things: visual recoil and actual recoil. Reducing visual recoil such that the center of your screen is always where your point of aim is what you should want. So this change is what you should want. You don't want more visual recoil. keep this in. If people are mad about this and they're now realizing that the guns also have too little actual recoil, what you should instead be getting mad about is like, hey, these guns have too little actual recoil, so keep the visual recoil where it is now, but add more actual recoil to guns so that you have to do some aiming sometimes. But you shouldn't be saying they should revert this and add more visual recoil rather than actual recoil. That's insane. Because it just is jarring, unintuitive, and feels bad. Duh. And then another aspect of that is, of course, what you said, which is, yeah, aim assist is also too strong. And it's been creeping up in strength for years now. Well, I don't know if it has, actually. It took a giant step up from what I'm told from BO4 to MW19 because that's when crossplay was enabled. And then it stayed extremely strong until now, where it got a slight nerf, but is still extremely strong. That's the main reason people are hitting all of their shots. Yeah. Now they can just see how little their gun moves and how well it tracks better. That's really all that changed.
It's just funny because the clip where Shotzi's killing the guy, it's like, dude, you are killing that guy the exact same speed with all that added visual recoil. It's just this time you actually see it happening because it's not shaking all over your screen.
Exactly.
You're hitting those shots either way, man.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So on the aim assist point, it's like they're never changing it, which is kind of why we've stopped talking about it. But so whatever. That's, if you can't beat them, join them. That's what I've done. But on the topic of actual recoil, I do think we probably could use some more actual recoil. In multiplayer and in Warzone, there are just not many guns that move at all. And Tanner brought up a good point when we were talking about this on Patreon, where he was like, that's kind of true, but also now that you can unlimitedly tack sprint, there's the Resolute perk, there's the stim speed boost, and there's Omni movement where you can dive and bomb and 360 YOLO or whatever. People move so fast that maybe we do want as little recoil as we have now, because otherwise it's just going to be impossible to hit people past 60 meters or something. I could also see that argument. So I don't know where I ultimately land on that. I'll have to play more and see, but guns do have very little recoil. If there were going to be a change I would advocate for, again, it would be add some actual recoil to guns, but keep the visual recoil to 0. There shouldn't be any. It's dumb that it's a concept, actually. It's really stupid. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And this is why, like, to me, like, Battlefield gunplay has always felt pretty good in, like, recent Battlefields, even the terrible games. Well, they did some big weapon balance update recently, but when I was playing it, like, maybe 6 months ago, the gunplay felt so good because there wasn't a bunch of annoying visual shake. Like, it was so hard to track and see people, especially on K-BAM, using an iron sight jackal. You couldn't see them because, like, it was actually, like, it would shake so much that the person you're trying to track just becomes blurry. That's how much it's shaking. It's such a bad mechanic, and I don't get why they continue to do this, because they also made changes to this at the beginning of last year. It's like, just stop adding it in the fucking game. Why do we keep doing this?
Yeah.
Don't add this as a feature when developing your game. How simple is it?
Yep. Every year. So anyway, overall, good change. This is like the biggest thing that happened this week in terms of patches that actually went through. And overall, again, I think it's good. This might expose that there's too little actual recoil. Maybe it won't do that. I don't have an opinion on that yet, but it's something I will be keeping my eyes on. So keep that in mind. But again, according to that JGod video, actual recoil didn't change at all. So if you're hitting more shots, that's how bad the visual recoil was before. Like, your gun wasn't recoiling any more than before than it is now, but you were still missing more shots because your guns were so bouncy. It's really stupid. So just don't do it again ever, devs. Day one. No one's ever been like, oh, I'm so glad this game has a fuck ton of visual recoil. What?
Yeah.
Once again, it's just one of those questions like, what does this add to the game? Even in theory. And why did you add it? And then also, why'd you add it again? You add it, you revert it. Next year, you add it again and then revert it. Idiots.
Yep.
It's just insane. So just amnesia. All of them have amnesia every year.
Yeah.
Anyway. Multiplayer specific. Couple other little changes. Meh. Weapons. They write a lot of big, intimidating words. I see the word philosophy. Don't like that. And they talk about headshot damage. So, let's see. It's actually good to read. They write a lot of big words. I'm not going to read all of it, but basically they're talking about headshot damage. In most cases, weapons will now require one fewer headshot at all ranges to improve the time to kill. And this is referring to multiplayer. So, which may or may not carry over to Warzone. We'll get there. The major exception is submachine guns in the max damage range, meaning up close, the first damage range, as we are wary of letting these TTKs get too fast. Probably smart. Probably a good idea. To compensate, we are increasing SMG ranges to help keep them that consistent edge at short ranges. The CHF barrel attachments, which is the one that gives you more recoil but also more headshot damage, have also been adjusted on all updated weapons to maintain a step up on the new default values. Meaning, instead of the CHF barrel, whatever, before the patch, increasing your time to kill with one headshot by whatever amount, it'll now increase it by a bigger amount. So, okay. We expect this change to greatly impact the weapon meta, especially in conjunction with our weapon motion changes. We'll be monitoring closely as that new meta settles to make sure individual weapon and class varieties continues to be strong in BO6. This is also probably a good idea, because, especially again, like they said, now that guns are easier to hit a bunch of shots with, that just makes head glitches, well, in some sense it makes head glitches better, because if you're sitting on one, you're just not going to miss on someone under you, like at all now. But in another sense, it's going to be easier for people to rip you off the head glitch because they're also not going to miss as much either. But having headshot damage be relevant is good in general, because if you're on a really nasty head glitch, you have the advantage of having a very small hitbox. In theory, you can be wall banged, but whatever. So people really only can shoot at your head. So that's a big enough advantage. If I am actually, in fact, hitting your head lots when you're on a heady, I should be getting more damage so that I have a chance in this encounter. Because if I need 6 shots to kill, whether I shoot your stomach or your head, well, then I always want to be on a head glitch, because there's no punish. I have a smaller hitbox, and even though you can only see my head, if you shoot only that, you're still going to only kill me just as fast as I can kill you. That's just incredibly overpowered. So this is a good idea as well. I think you had brought this up actually very early on when we saw how little headshots mattered at first. And you were like, dude, this is going to be pretty bad. And I think that's true.
Yeah, it makes them busted OP.
Yeah. So
when we were playing yesterday, it's like some of these head glitches on Warzone. Oh my God, it's insane. Like you literally only see somebody's like the top half of their forehead and up, and they're just gunning your shit. It's so crazy. So it's like the fact that somebody could be on a head glitch like that and you not do a ton more damage is kind of annoying.
Yeah. So this should remedy that. Again, if true, haven't tested it myself. So they're saying good words here. That's all I can say. Then they get into specific buffs and nerfs. We're not going to read any of these one by one. You can take a look at them yourself if you are interested. But there's a lot. Melee weapon attack speeds have been improved, particularly on those that take 2 hits to kill. Okay, don't care. Some zombies changes that we won't get into, and that was that. So now, Wednesday, December 11th, yesterday, there was another patch. And let me see.
Yes.
Nothing
the
really.
Stability section. No, there is. First of all, stability resolves some cases that could result in mismatched player animations between client and server targeting Warzone, high count, multiplayer matches, and zombies. So to me, this is kind of saying like what they've already mentioned one or two times, where it's like maybe somebody's shooting at you, but on your screen, they're basically still sliding or not actually looking at you, or their gun's not up yet.
Or they're behind a wall, but they're not.
That still feels exactly the same.
Yeah.
Literally after this patch went out yesterday and we were playing, got killed by some guy who, when he first starts shooting at me, he's sliding around the corner and his gun's down. So that's cool. Which ultimately doesn't matter that much, but it's just funny because it's like, okay.
Well, it does matter because I think this also means, like, the guy on my screen is not behind the wall yet, or excuse me. The guy on my screen. I don't know if it has anything
to do with that.
Well, it seems that way because mismatch. Oh, animations. You're right. Yeah, player animations. You're correct. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They'll never fix the death around corner things because it's Treyarch and they're incapable of doing it.
Yeah, that's a separate thing.
Did you watch
this
that?
Actually,
that
is
clip
important
from Lou?
though. By the way, no, I don't think so.
You didn't watch Lou's clip in Warzone General?
Lou, yes, I commented on it. Yeah. It was
insane.
You
did. Okay.
That was the worst example I've ever seen.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. That was really bad. Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, but this also actually is important though, because if I see a guy and he's doing a plating animation, for example, and I'm like weak, but so is he, if I see him start to insert a plate when I like peek a doorway, I'm pushing that shit hard because I'm thinking, oh, that guy's plating, so he can't start shooting me yet. Free kill. However, if there's a mismatch in his player animation between the client, me, and the server, what he's actually doing, and he's not actually plating, I will just die there because I'm like one shot and I didn't think he could shoot his gun yet, but in fact, he was never plating. It just looked like he was plating, even though on his screen, he's like ADS pre-aiming that door, and I just die. That's a huge deal. That's a really big deal. So, if this ever does get fixed, that would be a great resolution. But as Tanner said, seems like they haven't. Seems like this is a lie. So I haven't noticed one way or another. However, I believe Tanner because they've been lying constantly this year when it comes to things they said they fixed and a mismatch in what actually got fixed. There's another mismatch for you that has not been resolved. Yeah. So cool. Got it. And classic. So if they ever do get around to actually fixing it rather than merely saying they fixed it, that would be awesome and actually quite relevant sometimes. Sometimes won't matter that much and it will just be funny. But like, have you guys ever noticed where you die and you're like, I thought that guy was running literally in the same direction I was, like his back was to me. And then all of a sudden I'm dead. And then you watch the kill cam and you realize, oh, okay, I understand it now. The game just lied to me. He wasn't running away at all. The entire time he was pre-ADSing me and backpedaling on his screen. So I've got that. That's exactly what this means. There's a mismatch between what you see his animations are doing and what he's actually doing. So cool. Hopefully it gets fixed. And then this is the one they got shit on a lot for. Resolve a visual bug for some cases where blood effects could appear where shots did not connect with their intended target.
Yep.
Pretty sure we talked about this already. They got community noted for saying this on Twitter. And they said, and the community note is like, they're lying, literally. And then there's a bibliography in the community note. I'm not kidding. There are like 4 separate sources to how this is just not true.
Yeah.
It's not a visual bug. It is a server issue.
And that was from what they said like over a week ago. So they've doubled down on it, saying it's a visual bug where blood effects could appear when shots did not connect. But there have been countless clips of some person standing still or barely moving, and the shot obviously impacts the player's body. You see the blood splatter, and then they just don't get a hit marker or do damage to him.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know where it said, but supposedly, I was seeing on Twitter something about the way the blood splatter, the blood effects work. They made it like client-based versus it was server-based before. So they basically changed it so you won't see those when it happens. I wish I could find the tweet. I figured it was in the patch notes because I read it in a few different places on Twitter and then it just wasn't in the patch notes. But it made it sound like they did something extremely shady and changed the way those effects show up on the client side versus server side so that won't keep happening and then players won't keep getting mad when they're clearly hitting shots and not doing damage.
Well, that is exactly, yeah, that sounds correct, because what it sounds like is before or still, if you shoot a player's character model client side, you will get blood splatter client side. And the reason you won't get hit markers or do damage is because on your client, which is to say what you're seeing, is the guy where you're shooting, but server side, the guy literally isn't there anymore. So that's why you're not getting hit markers. So the blood splatter was probably client side, whereas server side, the damage, the hitbox was server side, meaning the character model is client side, enemy character models, but enemy hitboxes are server side, making it possible for you to be shooting a character model on your screen where that guy is not actually at, which is exactly the problem. And that is not a visual bug. That is a server issue. So yeah, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. That's why you're seeing blood splatter. Yeah. I hate the devs a lot. So, it's just incredible. So anyway, and then they write some more lies. We remain committed to tracking and investigating reports. Shut up. Zombies is next section. Zombies works great, man. I mean, I played it yesterday. Tanner and Jake were a little underwhelmed with the new map, but I quite like it. And it works well, dude. I mean, I have not encountered like a significant zombies bug once. I mean, one time there was the bug where you couldn't like sprint while reloading or whatever. But you know what? Game's been out for like 3 months. That was like the one big bug maybe, and they fixed it quickly. I love zombies is great. Get the zombies devs on Warzone, please. Please, God. And multiplayer. Please. It works well. So anyway, they write more about zombies. They did some things. Whatever. Not going to get into those. So now.
Zombie bones.
Today, the 12th, Thursday. Small patch. Let's see. Address a rare issue where players could encounter an error when attempting to add bundles to their wish list in the store. Classic. Hey, here is one thing that I will say with certainty is actually true without having checked it.
Yeah.
I will put my life on the fact that this bug actually got fixed. Yeah. You guys get one guess why. So then other than that, some other little things. Let's see. Oh, cool. 10v10 mosh pit and hardcore 10v10 mosh pit. They added. That's dope. Increased XP and weapon XP earn rates in the following modes: Dom, Headquarters, Kill Order, and Search and Destroy. It's actually pretty big.
Yeah, that is.
Very cool. And then increased weapon XP earn rates in TDM, Kill Confirmed, and Control. And then also increased XP earn rates in Prop Hunt. So there you go.
Classic.
Very cool. So there you go. Yeah. So other than that, that is pretty much it for multiplayer. Any big standouts for you there?
I mean, just a visual recoil change, but it's mostly
pretty much it, right?
Thing for Warzone for me. But even multiplayer feels a lot better because of that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of the recoil, I could go either way. I think they will probably add maybe some actual recoil across the board. But we're also just really used to using the XM4 now and that buffer weight. So like a lot of these other guns, they do just have more recoil, and I can kind of go either way. So if they add a little bit more actual recoil, I won't be mad at all. If they leave it the same, I also won't be mad. I'm kind of just indifferent about it. So interested to see what they're going to do, because I'm sure they will make some more changes to it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm agnostic on it right now. I don't really know if it's good, bad, or neutral, which is probably a good thing. It's always the case that we wanted a reduction in visual recoil. So like if we do need to address actual recoil, then fine. But at least we got rid of the visual one first, so that now if they add actual recoil, that's fine. That's like something we can work with. So anyway, now onto the Warzone patch notes. So we've gotten fewer in this week, but certainly no less impactful. This was on Tuesday, December 10th. Body shield has been disabled while they investigate a known exploit. Don't know what that exploit is, know that. But this is actually quite relevant, because I don't know if you guys know this. I didn't know this until I was trolling with it a couple weeks ago on Area 99. Couple things. First of all, you can take a downed player as a body shield. So if the reason you've never done this is because you figure it would be very difficult to run up behind some guy and hold your melee button, you're correct. That would be quite difficult. But what's quite easy, actually, is to down a guy and then run up to him and body shield him. Very easy to do. So if you didn't know that that's possible, now you do. Many of you probably already knew that, though. What many of you may not have known, which it took me a minute to figure out, is that when you have someone as a body shield in Warzone, this worked for me on Big Map and on Area 99 and on Rebirth, actually. You also get wall hacks on all of that guy's teammates. So you will not only get information on where they are on your minimap, but if they're remotely close to you, because you see it through walls, you will get wall hacks like the recon specialty, but constant. You will see their character model in real time, where they're facing and everything. Well, client side anyway, through walls. So one time I'm on Urzikstan, I downed some shitter fuck who is outside of the bathhouse. And I take him as a body shield, and I'm prox chatting, being toxic, whatever, standard. And then his teammate is on the roof, and I just start barking at his teammate from underneath him. And I'm like perfectly tracking where he is. And these guys are terrible, so they're using prox chat to talk to each other. And this guy's like, "Oh, dude, this guy's a hacker. He's literally shooting me through the ceiling. He's literally shooting me through the ceiling." And I was like, "Buddy, when you take someone as a body shield, you see their teammates through walls." So if you didn't know that's how that works, now you do. And the reason I bring that up is, number one, good to know, because it's fun to do that. And actually could be like a smart play in certain circumstances. There was another time we were playing Warzone Boot Camp. This was hilarious. And because we were like doing the challenges or whatever. So then we were going to the free loadie drop. Some guy was beating me to it. I could hear his teammate behind me. So I was like, all right, I'm going to take this first guy as a body shield while he's hitting his loadout, because they're like new players. They're terrible. And then I'm going to use that to just dump his second teammate. And I actually pulled it off. Like, hilarious. Nothing you're going to get away with against decent players. But I mean, the guy took forever to pick his loadout, body shield him, turned around, dumped his teammate, executed him. Hilarious stuff. There are times where taking a body shield, even outside of the wall hack feature, is like genuinely the right play to do if you can do it. And I could see scenarios in ranked where you would actually want to take someone as a body shield. So for example, imagine you pop a UAV or an advanced UAV and you see a team pushing you, but one guy is a little too eager. They have the Come Cowboy on their team, and he gets inside your walls, and you down him, and you see his two teammates are about 5 seconds behind. What would be a great idea at that time, take that dude you just down as a body shield, and then take the next gunfight. So now if those guys push, you're on a head glitch. You're on their teammate head glitch. You can still shoot with like a tac stance spread, kind of. When you ADS, you enter like a tac stance equivalent spread. So pretty accurately enough for being in a building. And then if they start shooting you, they're probably just going to damage their teammate first. But you're getting most of your shots on in that time. And you also get the wall hacks on them. Actually relevant and pretty good. I'm not saying you would body shield like multiple times a match of ranked or something, but I could easily see like once a game, this would be a good idea to do. So for now it's disabled because there was an exploit. I don't know what the exploit was, but I'm excited for them to add it back because this is going to be good plays. I'm excited to use it.
Wait, can they not shoot through their teammate? How does that work?
They can shoot through their teammate. Well, do they get pen damage? That's a good question. I would imagine...
I wonder if it's just normal damage or how that works.
I would imagine it would be as if they were shooting through like 3 feet of reinforced concrete. So they would be getting about... damage. Well, no, they'd be getting about 80% of the bullet damage they would be getting as if no one was there. So still an advantage for sure. Yeah. But I don't know. That's a good question. They probably get some pen because when you're like in multiplayer, if 2 guys are in a line and I'm dumping the first guy with a full auto gun, I'm getting some damage on the guy behind him, but not like full damage. That would be my assumption on how it works. Which is still really clutch though. Like that'll keep you alive longer.
Yeah.
This is only in ranked, man, with no name.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, that's what I was
in ranked, it is disabled. I've confirmed this. This is actually true. So anyway, just thought I'd bring that up. But once they add that back in, keep an eye on it. Look for opportunities. So next is buy stations. Buy stations in ranked play will now spawn at the same fixed locations each match, identical to those found in our unranked modes. So before this change, evidently, they were randomly spawning. Now they are not randomly spawning. They're always in the same spot every match. And they write a bunch of words that are lies. Ranked play is designed to minimize randomness wherever possible. If that were true, then why were they not static in the first place? Either 1, you didn't design it to minimize randomness, or 2, it was a bug. So, okay. I mean, I find that hard to believe that was a bug. You don't randomize the buy stations match to match and it be bugged. So you didn't design it to minimize randomness. However, I'm fine with static buys. I think the best solution is 5 different plot points of buy stations that are evenly distributed. And then it's randomly between those 5 templates rather than truly random buys every match, because then you would have like clusters some games and then some areas with none. That would be bad. But this is the better realistic option that I have faith that an Activision dev can implement properly. So that's good. On the other hand, this is not exactly a patch note, but we've been playing a lot of ranked and I can just tell you, there are too few buys in ranked, period. There are just too few.
Yeah.
They seem to be fairly evenly distributed throughout the map, which is good. But because there are too few, you will regularly be like 3rd circle, 4th circle, and you will not be able to access a buy. It's just not possible. Either there won't be many in or any in the zone, or because there are so few in the zone, they're hotly contested and you're just not getting there. And it's not even skill based, like, oh, well, you should be controlling the buy then. I mean, that's true in a sense, but I don't know where the next rotation is going to go to. So I don't know which buy I'm supposed to control. So if you're advocating for me doing a bunch of intels every game and then calling it skill when I camp the last buy, okay. Hey, I also need kill SR, so I don't have time to do that. But then also, So that when you do find a team that's controlling a buy, which we will do, the reason we're doing it is because we get lucky, actually, every time. It's like, okay, cool. This is the last good buy this game. We should not move. And that's what we do. But we didn't plan it that way. The smart play is recognizing that we have access to lock down this buy in this circumstance because we got lucky and came to it at the right time uncontested. Yeah. Or we kill a team and then we're the only team here now and we maintain control of it. That is like the skillful, smart thing to do, but it's also incredibly random and chance based when you're able to do that. And that is because there are too few buys. And if you do want to minimize randomness truly, there should be not an infinite number of buys, but certainly more than there are now. So that when you come into mid game, there isn't just one team that can luckily be the only team that can access a buy station for the rest of the game. That's incredibly strong, obviously. So there need to be more buys, 100%.
Yeah, I think because they say here, you know, they're going to improve buy station layout to address potential dead zones, but I think we could use a few more because it kind of goes both ways. Like when I'm searching for a buy, I get pissed when there are none close by at all. Earlier today, when I had to go, 400 meters to get to a buy that didn't have people at it. Yeah. And I bought you guys both back because you guys are both bad and we're dead. But
I've edited that out.
At the same time, though, too, it's like, well, that's kind of how the ranked play experience should be. I certainly shouldn't be able to just go to a buy that's super close because there are too many of them on the map and just easily buy people back. So I don't know. True. It can kind of go both ways, but regardless, if they just change the layout of them, maybe it'll all be good. I mean, I think we can take a few more, but I don't want them to put too many because then it's just everyone's getting to a buy and buying their teammates back, and then that's just kind of stupid.
I do agree with you there. Yeah, no, that's totally true. I do agree with you on that. And if we had to pick between too many or too few buys, I would absolutely take too few for the reasons you mentioned. Because then everyone's just constantly PAing you every single gunfight, and that would become incredibly toxic incredibly quickly. So you're right. However, I think there could be some buys added, but we still wouldn't be at like too many buys added. Because it really does feel just like pure luck what team gets to control the last relevant buy every game. It does not feel like it is skill-based. Like you're fighting over it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the buys just need to be in better spots too. Like more ranked spots. So for example, you know the buy that is in Lowtown? How it's like in the middle of that stupid circle?
Uh-huh.
By the gas station, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That is a good buy because you can't just be one team controlling that entire buy station. You can't do it. There are too many good spots, good buildings around that buy. So like if that's the last buy, no one team is going to control it. There's going to be a lot of teams constantly fighting over it. That's like a good buy station. Whereas what's another buy station? Man, I'm looking for like the opposite example of a buy. That's very easy to control. Oh, the one in apartments that are east of Seaport. That buy station is way too easy to control. There are two buildings that look right down on top of it. If you are one team and you're the first one there, that's yours. No one's hitting that. You have that buy, and you're the only team that can have that buy the rest of the game. Another one is the buy we held on that game we won today. On top of that hill. Oh, yeah. Further east of apartments. Terrible buy. Because if that's the last relevant buy, good fucking luck taking that. There's going to be a team in that building. They have 360 view of everything around them, and they'll hear people coming easily. That's why we won the game. Actually, People started coming from fire station, shit, piss, fart all over them easily. People coming from apartments, shit on them easily. And then eventually we have to rotate out, but we're rotating out from high ground. That buy is just too easy to control. So I think maybe that could be another thing too. All of this, by the way, is a fucking completely moot point. Completely moot and doesn't matter. They've never thought this deeply about this topic at all. Also because the game sucks and is entirely too buggy. And Activision devs do not play their own games. So they've never thought about these things. It's never even occurred to them. It's something that couldn't occur to someone who's never played the game before. Or any video game maybe ever besides Candy Crush. So anyway, I could use a few more buy stations, but whatever. I agree with Tanner. I would rather too few than too many. So next is this. Another great change. I can confirm this is true and working. Although this patch note is incomplete. Munitions and utility box. I accidentally clicked out of that. Hold on. There we go. Both boxes have been adjusted to provide the maximum possible amount of ammo for the primary and secondary weapons a player is carrying. So munis work like they used to. If you have no ammo in your AR and you hit one, you get lots of ammo. 210 plus 100 ammo. Actually, I don't know if that's how it works. I think you actually just get 210. So you would then reload your mag, and then you'd have 100 with 110 spare. Whatever. Still way better than before, which was 60. And then it also fully replenishes your secondary ammo. Great change. Should have never happened in the first place. One thing they left out is the ammo caches. So those static little things you go up to refill ammo. Those used to also only fill 60.
Oh, yes.
Those now also will fully replenish you in the same way munis and utility boxes now do. They, of course, didn't bother mentioning that in the patch notes. So, yet another in the just myriad errors in hiring practices at Activision Studios that you wouldn't mention something like that. But this is a great change. It'll no longer provide ammo for each other ammo type. So you won't get shotgun ammo anymore when you've never picked up a shotgun in Warzone yet. So that's probably fine. Yeah, probably fine. So good change though. So there you go. And then they go over the weapon motion things again, which we've already gone over, and the idle sway things, and then some balance changes. Honestly, not going to go through these either because none of these are relevant either. There was no XM4 nerf, so it doesn't matter. And that's it. So there you go. And then some bug fixes. Fixed an issue preventing the top whatever. Yeah, let's see.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing else really. That's it. Okay, and then we got a patch today. Let's see what this is all about. Adjustments, private matches. Adjusted the number of squads available in the view squad section during private match. Got it. Area 99 lighting.
Dude, I got excited for a second. I thought it was about to say adjusted the number of squads required to start a private match. And I was like, oh, they lowered the player count. No, they just adjusted the squads available when you view squads during private match. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, you still need a whole division to be able to run a custom match. So Area 99 lighting, reduced vignetting effect when outside of the circle. I know what that means. I have no idea what this means. This patch note is probably fine if I knew what vignetting means. I don't though. So
read. To clarify, this is the distorted blurring effect players see on the edges of their screen. There we go.
Okay, that's what vignetting means. Okay. When outside of the circle. Oh! So like the gas.
If it was gas, why don't they say in the gas? That's what I'm a little confused
Boy, is that a great question. Yeah.
When outside of the circle. I was almost thinking like when you go outside of the playable area, but I don't even know, man. Nobody knows.
Yeah, I don't know. So, whatever this could possibly mean, reducing distortion or blurring effects that I see is a good thing.
Yeah.
So whatever this might mean, and again, I have to stipulate, if true, is a good thing. So cool, I guess. That's Area 99 specifically, by the way. So next one is Rebirth Island lighting. Shortly after the update, the map will be set to daytime only. If true, that's a good thing. Do that for all the maps. Make it as clear
true so far,
and bright
yeah.
as Urzikstan.
Well, that's the thing. It's daytime, but it's still not good for Rebirth lighting. It's not as good as last year. It's not as good as the year before. It's not as good as the year before that. I mean, it's daytime at least, but the lighting still sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. So inside it's horrific. Outside it's been pretty good this year though. But
it's
I haven't
fine,
played after this update.
Again, been a lot better in Warzone before.
Yeah.
It's still not like full on sunny like it used to be.
Yeah. So that's cool. And then no adjustments to Urzikstan lighting, by the way. By the way, for those of you who haven't been paying attention, Urzikstan is where the ranked competitive Warzone gameplay mode is.
Yeah.
The lighting, I guess, is perfectly fine there. Doesn't need to be changed at all. I can't not see people lots at all on Urzikstan all the time. Not. So, cool. Didn't bother changing that, though. Excuse me. Didn't bother saying they changed that. So, anyway. Moving on. Ranked play. Adjustments. Restrictions. The tracker perk has been disabled in ranked play. While we investigate an issue. L. So yeah, we were very excited about this because the patch went live. So then we had to go to the main menu and then we had to close the game and then we had to launch the game and then update required restart, of course. So then we had to close the game again and then launch the game again and then load into ranked play and then wait 10 minutes to get a queue. And then once we actually did, we're not high ranked players, by the way. So what are you looking for? But whatever. They're trying to find a 200 millisecond ping server for me specifically because again, every change this game makes, the devs intentionally, specifically designed to piss me off the most specifically. I'm talking about me. So that's cool. The world does revolve around me. I was very excited to see tracker was disabled. I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
I'd prefer they just balance the fucking perk and keep it in ranked. But if they're incapable of doing that, which they probably are, at least just take it out because it's really way too strong. It's way too strong. But then we looked at the patch notes and it's not disabled permanently, or it might be. But their plan, they say, is to bring it back after the issue has been investigated.
They should not.
They should not. And also, I wonder what issue this is that they're investigating.
Not sure, but I would rather not have it. Yeah.
It's too overpowered.
I would like to use smokes again, so I would like for it to be gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Well, I don't want it to be gone. I want it to be balanced. Like a tiny bit balanced.
No.
Because it's just way too strong right now. It's just the ping lasts forever. There's no cooldown on how often it can ping someone. And it's uncounterable. Just balance the fucking perk. Balance your game once. Oh, and by the way, here's a bug. Tracker's supposed to auto ping whoever downs you. It doesn't. It doesn't. So maybe that's the issue they're investigating. But I find it hard to believe they would remove the perk while they do that. Because there's another perk that doesn't work called Quick Fix. Which, by the way, they said they fixed and didn't actually fix. Conspicuously missing in these patch notes and yesterday's and the days before, by the way, was them saying, oops, my bad. We said we fixed Quick Fix, but we didn't actually fix it. We've now actually fixed it, I promise, pinky swear. That's not in these patch notes anywhere. I have not tested Quick Fix since then, so I don't know if it's working now. Maybe they fixed it and didn't say anything. That would be par for the course, but they didn't write anything about it, which is insane. And what other red perk am I going to run if I can't run Tracker, by the way? I'm going to run Quick Fix, even though it doesn't work, so that at least I can play it with one hand. That's literally what I'm doing. In shambles. The game's in shambles. So, great. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. So hopefully they balance Tracker and then add it back in. But until then, whatever. And then there's some bug fixes. I'm going to read all these because there aren't that many. And I'm curious how many are true. Let's find out. Fix an issue that would interrupt players while attempting to replace armor plates.
Okay.
I can neither confirm nor deny. Fixed collision issues with various elements across Urzikstan, allowing players to exploit, peek, and shoot through them. I can neither confirm nor deny. Fixed an issue when creating a solos match in the private match tab. I can't care. Fixed an issue with Weaver's repairman skin so that it properly displays at farther distances. So what this is referring to is there was a bug before this patch where if people were using that skin, their character model would be invisible, literally. You would only see their weapon model and like their shoes. So you would just be shooting at your live ping because you're running tracker. So it didn't matter too much if you already had them pinged, but still an insane bug that wasn't ranked. Luckily they fixed it though, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what they said.
That's what they said, but it was interesting because we were playing earlier this morning.
Really?
Myself and Grim, and Grim was like, "What the heck? Is this guy invisible?" And we're like, "Huh?" He's like, "Yeah, this guy's like, all I see is like his gun model and his arms." And I said, "Hey, that's funny because they fixed that about an hour ago. That's what they said in the patch notes. They fixed that issue." And he's like, "No, the guy was invisible." Like, yeah, that sounds about right. So they've lied. Another patch and another lie once again.
It sounds so right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to lie. I have faith in these devs going forward for this year of Warzone. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was lying. Yeah. Because I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, how does this keep happening? It's just.
They continue to lie to us this year often.
A lot.
Every update. Every single bug fix update. Every single time they lie to us.
Yep. So this is a confirmed lie, by the way. Because that's
confirmed. Yep.
This is 100% confirmed because this patch went through. I can no longer use tracker. That is tied to these patch notes. But I still can't also see that skin. They said they fixed that in the very same patch notes. So this patch that they are definitely talking about, they said they fixed an invisible skin, but actually they didn't fix the invisible skin. They've lied once again, back to back. I mean, what are we doing over there, you know? And this is something I was talking about in Discord, because there does exist a QA department at all of these studios. They have a department called Quality Assurance. They have employees whose job title is something in the Quality Assurance department. Quality Assurance, whatever, team member or something, whatever dumb shit they use these days. That person works a salaried job about 40 hours a week, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 probably. I really, and I'm not even trying to be funny, want to know, what does Joe from QA do for 40 hours a week? What does he drive to the office and spend 8 hours per weekday doing in the office? I'm not even trying to make a joke. I'm not trying to be funny. I don't understand how the game can do this regularly and there be a guy whose job it is for this to not happen who works 40 hours a week, let alone multiple of them. What do those people do when they clock in for work every day? Because it's obvious, I'm genuinely not trying to be funny. It's obviously not looking at the list of patch notes and assuring the quality of them to make sure they're actually in the game. Like, I'm not trying to be, it sounds funny because it's so absurd, but I'm actually not trying to be funny. I want to know, if not that, which obviously they're not doing, what are they doing for 40 hours a week? I've worked a full-time job before. I've worked 40 hours a week before. That's a long time. That's a lot of time you're in the office. And if that was my job to do something and I just didn't do it, even though I had 40 hours to, what else could I have been doing? I don't have any theories. I really don't. I don't know what else they do. Maybe it just takes an exorbitant amount of time to quality assure the store.
Game dev's hard, man. Developing video games is really hard.
I don't know. I mean, it's never been this bad in terms of being lied to, like you pointed out.
Yeah.
It's never been this bad. We've had, usually Infinity Ward, be really bad devs in the form of just not saying anything ever. or only patching the game every 6 weeks, like any patch at all, or lies of omission, or spinning the truth, contorting the truth, using tricky language to be duplicitous while not very technically lying. But never before have we just been just a barrage of lies, just a heavy artillery strike, an LDBR of fucking lies. Every single patch, there is something they will say that is just not true. Every single one, for it feels like the past month at least. That is insane. It is insane that people are not more upset about this, because you might be in the camp where you're like, okay, well, you know, the Weaver repairman skin is invisible, but that's actually not that big of a deal because Tracker is in the game. And you know what? Honestly, I kind of agree with you. You could still see the weapon model, you still see the shoes. It'd be better if I could see the fucking character model also, but it's not the end of the world. But don't say you fucking fixed it when you didn't, right? Please, just don't lie to me, especially when I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out, man. You're not gonna get away with it. Like when they lied about skill-based matchmaking 5 years ago, at least there was some reasonable expectation that they would get away with it. Because it's very hard to test whether skill-based matchmaking is true. You have to do like statistical data models, and you have to look at some nerd who graduated from MIT that plays COD, break it down for you like a 4-year-old, and then you can maybe understand it. So there's like an expectation they're going to get away with this lie. So it's less offensive to insulting to me when they do that. But when they lie about things that I'm immediately going to understand that you lied about, why just not lie at all? What, wouldn't it be nicer if you just deleted that? Just delete it. Just don't type it, actually, better yet. Don't type you did something you didn't do. It pisses me off to no goddamn end. Here's another patch note, by the way. I think they tweeted this one and didn't write it in any official patch notes. Let's fucking stop doing that, by the way. Put every goddamn change in the same spot. I shouldn't have to go to Twitter to find some of the changes you said you did but didn't do, and then go to your blog post in the patch notes sections on your website to find another separate set of changes you said you did but didn't do. Put them in one spot. Or at least if you're going to tweet only some of them, that's fine, but all of those things should also be in the patch notes. Here was one of those things. If you guys were playing Nuketown Holiday or whatever, multiplayer, people would just be glowing fluorescent green a lot sometimes. And it was actually a big deal because it was very bright. You would be very easy to see if it was on you. And if it was on your teammate, you actually couldn't see past them if they were close to you because it was so bright and like big around them. And they tweeted, oh, by the way, there was an issue where people were glowing fluorescent green. We fixed it. No, they didn't. Spoiler alert. No, they didn't. Another fucking lie. Someone tweeted 10 minutes later, because of course, and they were like, oh, by the way, Treyarch just said they fixed this. Hey, hold this. Shows you a screenshot of some guy still glowing green after they said they fixed it. String them up. String them up. That's what I always say. And you know, that could mean a lot of things, but
I can't find where they said that. I was looking for that.
I thought it was on Twitter. But maybe it wasn't on Twitter? Was it not? I swear to God they said it somewhere. Someone tweeted about it.
It could have been, didn't somebody post in Discord about it, I think?
Yes, they did.
Is that what it was? Because, yeah, there's nothing on the Treyarch Twitter or COD update, so I wonder if they deleted it.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, now I need to find it, because I don't want to also be going on the internet and telling lies, so.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, where was that discussed? It would have been in multiplayer general.
I think it was just general chat. I will now scroll up. Just bear with us for 1 second, fellas.
Okay, so here's a tweet of somebody.
You found it?
Okay, here we go. So, okay, so it was from COD Warfare Forum. They tweeted it out saying it's not fixed. So it was in some set of patch notes under Nuketown Holiday, addressing issues where players could have a green visual effects attached to them during the match. Oh, maybe
we just missed it. Okay, so let me...
Search LTM updates in the patch notes. It should come up in that.
This is for multiplayer, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they took... That explains it. They took it out of the patch notes.
Yeah, it's not there. Yep.
That would explain it. God, that would explain it.
I like how people screenshot.
That's not dishonest at all, by the way.
Going crazy, yeah.
That's not dishonest at all.
To just delete it after you
just delete it after the fact.
People read.
With nothing underneath that says we're in. By the way, we removed this because it didn't actually get fixed. We're still investigating an issue. That would have been fine.
Do a strike through or something and say we're investigating this.
They used to do that, by the way, once upon a time.
They've done that before.
Yep. Yeah, it's not dishonest at all. Just pretend you never said it. Hello, stupid, dumb idiot. Today, I'm pleased to announce that for the month of December, Patreon memberships are 50% off any tier. Gold for $2.50 for an entire month. Ad-free episodes, early access episodes, and 3 Call of Duty bonus episodes every single month. You can get a higher tier, also 50% off, but Gold's probably the most bang for your buck, or if you're new, it's probably where you'd want to start. But the Q&A episodes for Platinum patrons and behind the scenes episodes and Damascus Hangouts for Damascus patrons, of course, also go bonkers. And you could get into all of that action for 50% off in the month of December. You can also gift Patreon memberships. Does that stack with the discounts? I have no idea. But if you wanted to gift your terrible, terrible teammates a Patreon membership so they can get better, that's a swell idea, and you might be able to do it for 50% off. But you can certainly do it for 50% off for your goddamn self so that you get those bonus eps and you don't have to hear ads like this one ever again. Let's get back to the show. So yeah, I mean, it's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Because here's the thing, I've said this before, I think I said on page and I'll say it again. When the game is working as intended, it's really fun right now. It's genuinely really, really fun. That's why it bothers me so much when it is this riddled with bugs. Because then it interrupts my very fun and enjoyable experience with shit that should not be happening at all. And I just wish they would get a goddamn grip one time.
Yeah.
But mostly don't lie to me. That's the most insane thing about it. If you defend the QA department, string you up also. I mean, these people shouldn't have jobs, obviously. Every single person who works in QA at a Call of Duty adjacent studio should lose their job. Primarily the heads of those departments. So the head of QA well, maybe not every department. It's hard to tell because it's a black box now. Who works on Warzone? I mean, Raven, sort of. Treyarch obviously has something to do with
supposedly everybody.
Otherwise, the hit reg wouldn't be that bad. But the head of every single dev who works on the QA, or the head of every QA department of every studio that works on Warzone, none of these people should have jobs. I'm dead serious. I really want them to be fired. And whoever hired those heads of QA probably also be fired, because you hired very incompetent people who hired terrible QA team members because they are the worst at their jobs. It's also embarrassing for you as a company for you to be reliably saying you fix things that aren't actually fixed. Can you think of another game where a set of patch notes come out and you just don't believe it? I genuinely can't, and I've played a lot of games in my time. I played some dog shit games too that are really bad and really bug filled. Like Star Wars The Old Republic, for example, some long dead MMO that's technically still operating. Terrible game, very buggy, a disaster, right? Super buggy. But when they put out patch notes, they checked the list twice. And they were not lies. They wouldn't lie to you in the patch notes. I would get mad at those patch notes because they didn't fix enough things. But they at least had a QA department and made sure they didn't say things that are not true or that they didn't actually fix. And where is that for one of the most successful video game franchise of all time, and one of the most resourceful, wealthy publishing companies and studios under it of all time? How is this happening? It's embarrassing, just as a business. I don't know. I can't say enough about it, but at the same time, I'm just working myself into a little tizzy. But it pisses me off a lot, and it should make all of you a lot more upset than it maybe does. I don't know. What I was originally going to say is, if you're having a lot of fun right now, I genuinely good for you. I'm happy that that's possible for you. I also have fun, which is why I'm playing, but boy, do I also tilt a lot. The relationship is very much like a battered wife. That's how I feel. So a lot of highs and a lot of lows and a lot of emotional manipulation. Because a battered wife, she's not just getting the shit beat out of her 24/7. Because then, yeah, anyone would leave. If you're just constantly just catching hands when you get home, or excuse me, when your husband gets home drunk, you would just leave. That's not how these abusive households happen. What happens is, at a time, your husband will come home and will start throwing hands for no reason. Well, Tanner did that.
I did it.
But then the next day, he'll bring you fucking roses and chocolates and say, oh, it'll never happen again, and whisper sweet nothings into your ear. And then for the next 2 days, it'll be fine. And then you'll think everything's Gucci. And then one day he'll come home, and then Bob from work made a snide remark at him, and you're fucking catching hands again. And it's a roller coaster. And that's how these women get trapped in these relationships. Because it's not always all bad. Otherwise, they just leave. That is me. I'm a battered wife. Give me a hotline to call to fucking fix it. Because the game will be really, really fun and perfect. It'll be the roses and the box of chocolates for 90 minutes. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, with no warning, at the drop of a hat, Bob comes out with his wife beater on and just fucking slams me in the face. And now I'm bleeding in the kitchen. I'm crying. I'm disoriented. I smell the liquor on his breath. I have no idea what happened or what's going on. And what did I do wrong? Nothing. I mean, nothing, actually. I appeared to have looked at my phone for a little too long 30 minutes ago, and now he's gaslighting himself into thinking I'm cheating on him or something. That's what happened. That was my error. I'm a battered wife. That's what's going on. That's why this shit pisses me off so much. Because if it was always just all bad, like Star Wars The Old Republic was, I'll just quit. I'm done. That's what I did. I just said, oh, this game's ass. It's not getting better. It's always ass. I'm always getting the shit beat out of me. I'm gone. See ya. Pack the car, Sally. We're getting out at the crack of dawn. Bob will be asleep. He's hungover. So, anyways, I don't know. It just makes me furious, though. And it's not going to get better. To be clear, it will not get better. So, have no faith.
Well, it will at some point, but then it'll get ruined again.
Maybe. I don't know. Any thoughts?
No, not really.
Okay.
The game sucks a lot.
The game fucking sucks a lot, yeah. And the devs should be strung up. And again, that could mean a lot of things. So now, and I mean whatever you think I mean. So if you're an admin, that of course means, could that mean, hopefully that could mean a lot of things. It means something fine. Anyway. COD Updates also did a tweet, and this was not in the patch notes. This was also not in the patch notes. So, okay. We're deploying a minor update to add 2 more buy stations to Area 99. Okay. I mean, I guess that's fine. I don't know if it needed more buys, but it's probably not a big deal that they added 2 more. There are a lot better uses of a dev's time than adding buy stations to Area 99, by the way. because I still can't res my teammates. Right?
Oh yeah, they still haven't fixed that. Yeah.
I still can't res my fucking teammates in ranked Warzone. So someone gets downed, I wipe the team, and then I lose the game because I can't res my teammate, and only because I can't res my teammate. In the competitive ranked game mode, by the way. Radio silence. Radio silence. Not a tweet, not a blog post, not a patch note, not an interview, not a fucking codcast comment quip. Nothing. Core game mechanic that has worked on the launch of Warzone 5 fucking years ago. I hate them. You should hate them more than you do. In addition, the following bug fixes are now live. God, I can't stand them. They make me so mad. Fixed an issue that was preventing eliminated players from dropping ammo. That was fun and exciting. I can confirm this is actually true. I can't confirm if they added 2 more buy stations to Area 99, by the way. They may or may not have. I don't know. I can't confirm that for you. Fixed an issue that was causing a mismatch between the SR widget and the post-match after-action report in ranked play. They also did, in fact, fix this. I can confirm that. Fixed an issue that allowed sniper rifles to down players in a single shot in ranked play. I can also confirm they did fix this. So most of these things appear to be actually true. Not too much to say on most of this. Players dropping ammo is good. I've gotten off Scavenger now because Survivor is really strong. I might try Scavenger again, though, to get more stims. That could be fun. But ammo's not an issue. Between the Muni change and players actually dropping ammo now, it's fine. In terms of ammo, I'm pretty much fine. Sometimes I'm out of ammo, but sometimes you should be out of ammo. If you're not moving at all and you're wasting shots, run out of ammo, shitter. That's a skill issue. It's fine. But I'm running out of ammo at appropriate times. So that's good. And then the other thing is fixed an issue that allowed snipers to down players in a single shot in ranked play. This is not to say snipers are gone from ranked. People will still take pot shots at you, but it is very uncommon now. You usually don't really see them.
And it's a lot better now because of that.
And it is a lot better now because of that. And they're probably not worth running right now. Now, again, like we said, I think last week, when that new sniper drops, the semi-auto big dumper AMR, whatever, that you will be able to use in ranked play since it's BO6, a BO6 gun, that might be worth using in ranked. So don't think you're out of the woods if you hate being sniped and you think it's perfect now, because more people are going to try that if it's attractive, and it very well might be just like the Signal was. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So there you go. So yeah, then the operator skin, that's that. So now we're on to news and upcoming changes. Not too much else to go over here. Just a couple fun little things. First of all, this is from Charlie Intel. There was a lot of discourse on Twitter about this that I don't really... I'll just read it. Activision may have quietly patched the ability to do the 2-box method for easier lobbies in Warzone. It is now reportedly not possible to join a Warzone game pre-lobby match or a match in session with the Season 1 Reloaded update last week. So I'm not an expert on 2-boxing. What 2-boxing means, for those of you who don't know, is basically, for example, you connect to Warzone on an account that has purposefully terrible stats because you die on purpose all the time on it on your Xbox, and then you press look for a match or whatever, and then once you found one, you get on your computer on your main Giga Sweat account, your Nixta account, and then you join the game of your Xbox account, and you will get the terrible SBMM bracket of your reverse boosted Xbox account, but you're on your main account where you can try really hard and not have to ruin your stats. And then all of a sudden you shouldn't be here. You're in a very good lobby. By very good, I mean all the players are really bad. And so you can break world records on invalids. That's what 2-boxing is.
Yeah.
It seems like they actually did fix it. That because I was like looking at comments and stuff. and people were like, "Oh yeah, it's actually like doesn't work anymore." There are probably still ways to do this or something, because I think a corollary of this.
I saw some people say you can still do it, but I don't know anything about it.
Interesting, because I saw another when this was hot, because this was tweeted on the 9th. I also saw people talking about how they also changed it so that SBMM is purely predicated on the most skilled player in a party, and it's not like a mix anymore. So another thing people would do is, like, even if you couldn't join once the match was found, you could still party up with a shitter account and then queue together, and you would get less insane SBMM because there's a shitter fuck in your team. Whereas now it ignores the shitter fuck. It says we're putting your SBMM as if you were the only one queuing. I don't know. I can't speak.
You sure you're not just getting that confused for ranked play? Because that's how ranked works.
I'm going to lie. I'm not confused at all about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what you're thinking of.
Probably. Yeah, I think that is what I'm thinking of. That could be. Yeah, that's probably what I'm thinking of. So, I don't know. I thought maybe it was related to this, but either way, whatever. No. I don't know. Did you see anything about this?
I just remember seeing some people say apparently you can still do it, but then also I saw a bunch of other people saying like rip Nixta, rip this and that, and a bunch of the reverse streamers. Yeah. So
that's very cool and fun and exciting. I don't really care either way. I don't know. Whatever. I don't have too much to say on this. So moving on from that. The launch multiplayer map from BO1 may be returning to BO6 or COD 2025, per info found from data mining.
Oh, the map was last seen in the files. Nice.
Yeah, the map was last seen in BO4. So I never played the very original, but I did play BO4 launch. Do you remember playing this?
Not at all. I tried looking up screenshots. Don't remember the map at all.
We played it for sure, but it was just not very common because it was like a DLC map. So we played it probably as often as we played any of the other DLC maps.
Like, judging from the one screenshot they keep showing, I just don't recognize it.
There's like a hangar.
Okay, looking at the overhead, I think.
Yeah.
I think I know what it is. Yeah, hard to say. Oh, there's some videos too.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
Doesn't matter. That's an okay for me.
Yeah, it doesn't really
look
matter.
Like a good map.
It's a decent map, or I remember it being a decent map. I mean, it's been like 6 or 7 years now since I played it, and I didn't play it much, but it was cool. So just thought I'd point it out. But keep in mind, we were also told we were getting Terminal in MW19,
and we didn't. Giraffes in Warzone.
And giraffes from data miners supposedly. So take this with a giant grain of salt. And who really cares anyway? We have Nuketown. Another tweet.
Yeah, the maps don't matter at all at this point.
Yeah, they don't. Treyarch teases that more remastered multiplayer maps could be added to BO6. What a revelation.
Wow.
Wow, we're getting remastered maps. That's surprising. Not. And then here's a quote from somebody. I'll just say that while we're still focused on delivering original designs.
This map, terrible fucking map, by the way. Launch, not good at all.
Oh, really?
It's finally like it? Yeah, this map sucks. No.
Okay.
Yeah, we did not play that map often at all. Yeah, it sucks.
I remember thinking it was fine, but I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? I'll just say that while we're still focused on delivering original designs as the majority of our post-launch maps, let's not do that. No previous Black Ops title is off the table for potential remasters. So that means we could be getting... You know what I would love to see that we haven't seen in a while, man? Contraband.
Oh,
or firing range, especially firing range. Mostly firing range, actually, but also contraband.
Would be cool.
Contraband would be dope. That's another BO4 original, so you probably wouldn't see it for a while because they just did one, Hacienda. And by the way, Hacienda still can't tell you if it plays well or not. They added doors to it, which it didn't used to have, so a lot of people are probably upset about that. I don't care about doors. I never understood why people really did, but okay.
CDL, that's why, yeah.
Oh, yeah, CDL.
Nerds.
Yeah.
Super
Dorks.
nerds.
And by the way, less skilled player than Warzone players, by the way. CDL pros are worse by a lot at Call of Duty skill than Warzone players are. Don't at me.
Quite a bit.
But in addition, I never played it on a good game, on a playable game mode. I only got TDM, so I left about 1 minute in.
It was really bad on
it's
TDM.
Terrible on TDM, like every map.
I got a hardpoint one time. No, was it hardpoint or Dom? One of the matches I played, it played very well, and then on TDM, I was just like, dude, it feels like the movement's just so much slower in this game than BO4 because this map feels massive. But yeah, it could just be TDM because the spawns are really bad in TDM. And again, 2024, stop putting TDM in Call of Duty games. It doesn't need to be in there. We don't need to keep putting this mode in the game.
I agree. And also, I used to think that was like the less popular opinion. But every time I queue for Nuketown 24/7, no one votes TDM. They always vote Hardpoint and Dom. So obviously most players agree with us. Maybe they're doing that for XP reasons. That could explain it, actually. But doesn't seem very popular. So take it out of the mosh pit modes, man. I don't know. Anyway, they didn't share specifics on what maps they plan on bringing. So brining is, excuse me, is what Charlie Intel wrote. I think they meant bringing. And then 2 more quick things here. First of all, sticking on this year, there was also a lot of discourse on Twitter. I always find this funny. It always makes me laugh, actually, about supposedly some of the art, promotional art or loading screens or whatever, were for Call of Duty right now are AI generated or enhanced or created or something. And the one piece of evidence I saw for this was one of the screenshots. Again, I don't know where exactly, but it's like it's a loading screen or it's a weapon charm or something. But in the picture, in the piece of art that is in Call of Duty in some capacity, Santa is like holding his hand out, but he has 6 fingers, supposedly. It's not super clear that he has 6 fingers to me, but I definitely see what people are talking about.
It couldn't be more clear. There are definitely
really?
6 of them, and it's a loading screen. Yes, it's very obvious.
It looks
Here's the thing,
less clear to me, but
I don't care at all. The less human life working on this game, the better off we probably are. Let AI do all of it. They'll probably do a much better job. Just
AI
get the
could
humans
probably
out of the
fix
fucking
quick
game.
fix. Yeah. Totally agree. I 1000% agree. I wanted to talk about this to tell you guys how much I don't give a fuck. Sorry, go ahead.
But it's just also funny because it's like confirmed. It's definitely made by AI. Like, this is now proof. It's like, well, so people have a odd way of saying confirmed and proof. This is not proof that AI made anything. Just shut up. But anyways, people are really upset about this. Like, oh, the poor humans in the art department. Shut up, man. Just shut up. God, it pisses me off lots to care about that.
It's really dumb for a lot of reasons. Yeah.
It's just such a typical, like, did Charlie Intel tweet about this?
I don't know. I don't think they did, to their credit. To their immense credit, they did.
Did they not?
I don't think so. I didn't see it.
That surprises me, because I was going to say, this is just such a typical stupid thing for an account like Charlie Intel to tweet
about. If they did, it was longer than a week ago. So.
Yeah, you're right. I'm actually not seeing it here.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, interesting. Oh, wait,
yeah.
No, there it is. One of the new loading screen customization options added to Call of Duty with BO6 appears to be an AI-created image, as the zombie in the image has 6 fingers.
You're telling me he clearly has 6 fingers?
I think, now that I look at it, I think Killzone is right. I think that bottom one is a skin flap from the finger. That is honestly what it looks like.
That's what I said. I was like, it's not entirely clear to me that that's 6 fingers. I see what they're saying,
there's 6 sticks. It looks exactly like 6 fingers, but now that he says it's the skin, I can see that. But there's not a skin flap hanging from anything else. That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't know. But okay, yeah, Charlie.
Doesn't matter. Fire all the human life. Right before Christmas, too. Now would be a great time.
Oh, that would be bonkers. Every QA dev just not laid off. No. Laid off means you can't, like... You'd rather be laid off than fired, right?
Well, I guess it kind of depends, because if you get fired, you could. Well, I was gonna say, if you get fired, can't you like not get unemployment or something sometimes?
Oh, yeah. So
there's something to do with like unemployment and how you're let go.
I've neither been fired nor laid off because I'm a model employee. And when I clock in, I don't embezzle funds from companies. I actually do my fucking job, unlike these people. So whatever the worst case scenario for each particular individual in these QA departments would be, whether that's being fired for this guy or laid off for that guy. I think fired is better if you need like health insurance right away. So if you have some like chronic illness that's really expensive, like I do, by the way, I hope those people, the QA department devs that have colitis or Crohn's disease, hopefully it's the worst version of what I have. Hopefully someone has that and they get laid off so that they can't get health insurance right away. Pay your $30,000 for your next Humira shot, cunt. Or if it would be better for you to be fired, I hope you're laid off right before Christmas. Yeah, that would be fantastic. None of them deserve jobs. None of them do. None of them do. For years and years and years. It's not, and again, oh, you're such a meanie pants. First of all, idiot. They get paid, all of them get paid way better than I do for not doing fucking anything. And it's not like I'm jumping on them for making one mistake, even one big mistake. If it was one big mistake, I would be like, let's not do that again, but fine. Everyone makes mistakes. I get it. They're human beings. That's fine. You're allowed to make some mistakes. You're not allowed to make every mistake, the same mistake, lots, all the time, multiple times in one work week. You're not allowed to make 8 big, giant fucking mistakes in one 40-hour work week. Week after week after week after week after week. You're not. And also, most importantly, none of what I say is going to get people laid off or fired. I'm not fucking Joe Rogan, okay? So settle the fuck down. Doesn't matter. But I hate all of them a lot, personally, deeply. I feel resentment toward them. And hopefully, yeah, whatever's they lose their job in the worst way possible, basically, before Christmas. That's a great thing to wish for. I will be putting that on my wish list for Santa. But the AI art thing, that's one department at Activision that actually consistently does a fantastic job. And those people deserve a raise. They deserve stock options. They deserve praise. They deserve vacation time because they're model employees. The art always looks fucking awesome. It always looks really good. Now, you know, the wub skin, not a huge fan of it myself, but it looks good for what they're going for. That's fine. The art guys at every Activision studio are fantastic. They're great. I love them. Fire all the QA people and take all the money you were wasting on them and give it to the art people because they're doing a fantastic job. All the art looks really good, genuinely. So I super do not give a fuck if AI was or was not used, because here is the reality also. If it is an AI generated image or something, it's not like the art guy was like going into Midjourney on Discord and being like, imagine a zombie Santa, LOL, and then getting a picture and then just copy image, paste into a loading screen, you're done. If they're using AI, which I would be surprised if they weren't, what they're actually doing is collaborating with AI to help them make images. So for example, they use one AI program and they're like, all right, give me Santa or whatever. And then it does it. And then they're like, all right, cool. And then they probably modify that a lot through whatever AI they're using. And then once they have what they like as their base, they probably take that base image, put it into Photoshop or whatever crazy program they use, and then do a bunch of other shit to it that you have to be a good, talented, skilled artist to do. And then from there, they add it to the game. But it's not like it's me making a YouTube thumbnail. I don't do shit. I do what Activision is being accused of doing, which is going to Midjourney, typing in some bullshit prompt, finding something, oh, this looks good, copy, paste, upload, done. That's not what they're doing. That's not what they're doing. If they're using AI at all, they're also using their considerable skill set to make it better. And if that saves them time or makes the images look better, fantastic. And if every once in a while a fucking loading screen has 6 hands, why do we care about this? I actually don't even understand
about
the outrage.
Things that matter in the game.
That's the biggest thing too, is like there are a lot of things to be real upset with Call of Duty about. A loading screen that is anatomically incorrect is not one of them. It's not. Hey, I can't raise my teammates in ranked. Get mad at that. There's a cheater in every single multiplayer ranked game at Diamond and above. Get mad at that. Get the fuck off the Twitter thread about AI art and bitch about something that matters. Realistically, don't bitch about anything on Twitter. They don't care, obviously. They clearly don't care. Because people with much bigger platforms than you or I, or anyone you know, have been complaining about the same shit for 6 fucking years, and that hasn't done anything. So if you, like me, want to scream into the void with nothing happening from it, you're an idiot, much like I am. But also, at least do it about something that matters. Because AI art super doesn't fucking matter. I genuinely don't understand what the thing is. Maybe they're saying like, oh, the fact that they're using AI means fewer artists get hired? Is that the problem? If that's the problem, that's also absurd.
Yeah.
Because you have to have a guy who like uses the AI again, number one. But then also, even if you could downsize that way, that's what a company's gonna do. Because they have obligations to their shareholders to make as much money as they can. So if AI is capable of taking a job, it's going to. You can get mad all you want, but it's going to happen. It's already happening. I mean, there are McDonald's with fewer employees now than there were a while ago because of some form of automation, like the stupid kiosks that you can self-order from. Yeah. Those McDonald's don't need as many employees if there are lots of those stupid machines and they work well. It's just going to happen. You can complain about it, but they don't care about you. They care about their shareholders. And you're still going to buy your Big Mac, you fat fuck. So stop complaining about it if you're not going to do anything about it. And this is all these people bitching about AI art, by the way. Vault Edition, Black Cell Emblem, fucking 8,000 COD points that they can't wait to spend on a Gobblegum pack. So hypocrites also. Like me, by the way.
Buy Gobblegums. Yeah, you're a Vault Edition.
Idiot. Fucking idiot. Yeah, I am. Are. Fucking stupid fuck idiot bitch. That's me.
I think we bring back the Black Cell tax, by the way.
We might need to.
The store bundle tax. I think we do bring it back temporarily.
In my defense, when Season 1 dropped, I could either get the Battle Pass bundle for $20 or get a Vault Edition upgrade also for $20 that came with the same amount of COD points and the Battle Pass and all the Vault Edition shit. So I was like, okay, well, I might as well get it. That's why. And more importantly, in my defense, the game was not horrendous on Season 1 launch. Little did I know what was to come, but yeah, I'm now done buying Black Cells bundles for sure. Yeah. Or spending any money at all. Yeah. No more money until, well, what would we say? August? Probably no more money till fucking August, probably. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. That's what the forecast shows me. That's what the tea leaves are spelling out for me, yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway. So, yeah, and then last thing are, speaking of terrible Call of Duty devs, new rumors on iDub, Infinity Ward, for those of you uninitiated. And God, I'm jealous of you. Next Call of Duty game. Expected to be another Modern Warfare title. Okay. 2026 release, so we get one more year of reprieve. Next year won't be at iDub. Good.
Yep.
Expected to feature Omni movement and wall running. And we heard that leak before. The wall running one. So that comports.
Well, we originally heard it as coming. That's what they're going to do next year. Since the next year is supposed to be another Treyarch game, what we heard was they're going to just build on Omni movement, and one of the things is going to be some form of wall running.
Okay. Yeah.
Can't wait for some guy to wall run past me, by the way, on controller, and I'm like just off the wall, like standing there, and he's going to get full 180 degree rotation and just shit slam me hard. will be fun, man.
Yeah. And what's funnier too is you'll be like 35 years old by that time too. Yeah. So you'll just have no fucking chance whatsoever. Yeah. And the last thing,
the game's bad.
It's horrific. Yeah. Multiplayer may include some MW3 maps remastered along with new maps.
Okay.
That's actually the most optimistic thing on that list, because the last time we had lots of remastered maps on launch, the game was really good and bug free. Remember MW3? It had its problems.
Infinity Ward didn't make it though.
That's true. That's a great point.
Sledgehammer took a bad game they made and improved on it a lot and made almost no mistakes and launched it. So that's the issue. That's the problem.
That's a good point. But still, by the way, if we did get a bunch of MW3, like 2011 MW3 maps, that would fuck. That had some great maps. That had some really, really good maps. People always talk about MW2 as like their, whatever, the magnum opus of COD. But MW3 was a great game, a better game, I would say, and had really good maps also. Really good maps. I would probably say a better suite of maps, actually, than MW2 original did. So that would be cool. But the reason I said that might be the best thing is because that means the less time they spend designing maps, the more time they can spend polishing the game, making sure it works, and making sure perks, basic perks, which we've had for 20 years, actually function as they're written, which they used to, by the way. Sleight of Hand Pro used to actually do what it said 20 years ago when a Call of Duty came out 20 years ago. Yeah. It's just a wild to think about.
Yeah, it is.
So that's pretty much it. We do have some announcements, but before that, I just want to pull this up. Feel free to screenshot this. I have started a list, and I was showing this off in the pre-show, but I'm going to show you guys here now, of bugs that are in Warzone. And to be clear, this is only a list of bugs for Warzone specifically. So this doesn't include bad design choices, like letting people throw down 3 blast traps at the same time instead of 2. Those aren't bugs. Those are intentional features that are bad. That's a separate list that would also be very long. This is just a list of things that are not working as they are intended to, whether or not that's a good intention or not. I could read all of these, but I don't have another hour for you. So instead, I'm just going to put it on screen. And if you guys want to, feel free to take a screenshot or to pause it and laugh. There are lots. So how many is this? Let me do this instead so that I can give you guys a number. And to be clear, to be extremely clear, this is not an exhaustive list. This is scratching the surface, probably, of all of the bugs in Warzone right now. So far, we've found 30. That's 30 THIRTY bugs. Some of which are a big fucking deal. Not all of them. Some of them are not a big deal. But quick fix not healing, can't res your teammates, for example, big deals. 30. If you have more Warzone bugs, feel free to let me know in the comments or in Discord or whatever. Do it in the YouTube comments to boost the algorithm. And I will add to this list. It is a growing list. It's a living, breathing document, like the Constitution of the United States of America. That's what I always say.
Yeah, you do.
So, yeah. I mean, game's perfect when I'm winning and I don't encounter game-breaking bugs, but when I'm not, it sucks a lot. It's like someone made that tweet. Who is that? Tyler the Creator. Excuse me. It's a different Black Tyler. Tyler 1. It's fine being black, by the way, but they're both Black Tylers. Someone retweeted a video of Tyler 1 where he's talking about League of Legends. And he's like, this game fucking sucks. You know what? No, we're going to play it. It's like 10 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Where is it though?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about? Oh,
maybe.
No.
Is it an old clip?
Yeah.
Oh,
but someone tweeted it recently. A COD player tweeted it recently. Oh, actually, I think I retweeted it. Let me look for it. Okay, I guess I didn't retweet it. I really thought I did. Warzone. I really want to find this. It's really funny because it's exactly applicable. You've for sure seen the clip, by the way.
Jake is saying he sent it.
Jake sent it. Thank you, Jake. Okay, it's from Pie Man, yeah. All right, so hold on. Let me do this.
Little Pie Man.
Yeah. So you can pull it up on stream if you
Pie
want,
boy.
Tanner, or just look at it, or just 3, 2, 1 it if you want.
Well,
But this is
anywhere, so
this
I'll
is the
find that Pie
perfect
Man's
tweet and clip. And this is from @PieMan, who's been playing Warzone since day one. Famous. I don't know about famous, but popular streamer. And the caption for this video is Warzone every update. And attached is a video that I will now play for you. This is from years ago from Tyler1 playing League of Legends, talking about a League of Legends update. And it sounds, and I'm, to be clear, 100,000% applicable to Warzone. And if I told you this guy said this about Warzone yesterday, you would believe it. You ready to play it?
Yep.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
They're hot fixing it? Nice! How did it even make it in live? How? Sweet, guys! They're hot fixing it! Cool! That's awesome and all. How did it even make it to live servers? How? How did they think that was okay to even put it in the game? I'm so sick of this fucking company. The trash! Fix the game! It sucks playing the shit! And I'm fucking addicted! So I can't quit! I'm so sick of this shit! I'm done! I'm done streaming! I cannot stream this game anymore! It is garbage! Bye!
I mean, perfectly encapsulates.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It's just perfect. This is a sensational tweet. Just a sensational tweet. I've retweeted it from our podcast account if you guys want to go watch it. But that's exactly how I feel right now. Everything in that clip perfectly summarizes it, including and especially the end, but I can't quit because I'm addicted. Despite how dog shit it is, how did it make it to live servers? Oh, they're hot fixing it. That's cool and all, but how did it make it to live servers? Just all great points, and then he can't quit and he gets very upset. That's me. So anyway, before we go, we do have some announcements. First and foremost, we will be back on Saturday for another episode, but in the meanwhile, welcome to our new gold patrons. School's Out, Run, Joshua C, Marshall B, Taylor M, and Barney H. Boys, welcome to the Patreon, patreon.com/the Dropshot. Thank you very much for joining at the gold tier. We also got a Damascus Chad upgrader, Salva, Big Dog Salva. Thank you very much, sir, for upgrading to the coveted Damascus tier. We love and appreciate you. And then we also got an annual platinum upgrade from gold. So he went gold and he was like, damn, I'm getting a lot of value here. Not only am I going to upgrade, I'm going to lock in for an entire year. That should say something to those of you who are not patrons. People are getting value out of this. They're liking it. The Ghetto Man won. Change that. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, that's bad.
For 12 more months. King, it's horrific. Yeah, and it's all caps too. Very kind of you, sir. And strap in. It's going to be a wild 12 more months, probably. So thank you very, very much, sir. On the topic of the Patreon, by the way, for the month of December, 50% off all monthly tiers. So if you want to go Damascus, Platinum, or Gold, you could get it for 50% off, which is insane value. Ad-free episodes, early access episodes, bonus episodes. On the topic of bonus episodes, we released one this morning. We had written out notes for a ranked Warzone strategy tips kind of ep that we intended to be one episode, but there was a lot more to say, apparently, than I thought. So it's actually part 1 of 2. That's how many notes we had written for this. So if you are playing a lot of ranked Warzone right now, and maybe you want some help, start cheating, because a lot of other people are. That's really your only hope. But besides that, you could get some help from listening to that episode we just released and the one we will be releasing as part 2. So in part 1, we talked mostly about kind of weapons, the visual recoil changes and what that means for you, what wildcards you should be hitting, other things like that. And then in part 2, we're going to be covering more. Oh, and we also talked a lot about equipment. There's a sleeper lethal that no one's using that's just the best lethal. I will not be spoiling it, but I'm not seeing streamers using it, and it's actually the best one for reasons we explained in that episode. So for $2.50, you can go listen to it. $2.50. That's what I always say. And then, yeah, lethals as well, like stims versus smokes, some discussion there. And then part 2, we're going to be getting more into, and by the way, it's like ranked Warzone, but all that applies to Resurgence and unranked as well. So you'd still get some utility out of it. And then part 2 is going to be more on perks and strategy, where to land, what to do, how to play, how to rotate, the cope strat, the patented cope strat, other things like that. So if you're playing Warzone and want to do better, especially if you're playing ranked, I think almost all of you listening will learn something new, or at least get something new to think about trying or doing from these 2 episodes we will be doing, one of which is already live. So yeah, and now that there's discounts, great time to join. And also you can gift Patreon memberships. If you're feeling festive, you can gift a little membership as well. Yeah. That will go forever in not just for December. So yeah, do that. Some people have done it already, and we thank you guys, but more should. Did you enjoy that episode, man?
Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah, the time really snuck up on us, so now we got to do that part 2. I think we'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah, okay.
Tomorrow morning we'll get that part 2 out there.
We'll probably release it Saturday morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's that. And then speaking of the holiday spirit, we also got a donation from someone who doesn't want their name leaked. Diet Diesel is his alias. Friend of the pod, Obsidian patron. Not too chatty in the Discord. Change that. Talk more. But it's fine. You can do whatever you want, especially when you're doing things like this. He says words, big words, intimidating words. Yeah, you've written a lot of words here. Listen to, and I'm intimidated, every episode again this year based. And I conclude once again that this podcast is, and this must be an acronym because it's all caps ASS.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Always super.
So sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Super sick.
So sick. Yeah.
Always so sick. Yeah. That must be what that means in all caps ASS. Cheers, boys. Merry Christmas. And with that,
our first Christmas gift, man.
Our very first Christmas gift. We deserve lots more, but this is a great start. This is starting off on the correct foot.
Yeah.
And unlike an Activision studio dev, these words were not lies. He is wishing us a Merry Christmas because attached were 200 giant ones. Wow. That's incredible. I think we might want to hit the sacks. I'm going to be honest.
Do we?
I think we might want to, yeah. Because that's a lot of cash.
That is. That's a good amount.
Yeah.
That's a good amount. Shout out to Diet Diesel, man.
Serviceable amount. Shout out to Diet Diesel. Indeed. Thank you very much, King. You're an absolute god. That's extremely generous. Thank you very much. An Obsidian patron and dropping 200 bones. Very early. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like that.
We love that. We appreciate that. So thank you very much, dude. That's very generous. Not necessary for you because you're Obsidian, but is necessary for all the rest of you listening.
Yeah.
So.
And you guys owe taxes now on Black Cell and everything else.
And you owe a Black Cell tax, a VIG. That's correct. Yeah. So thank you very much, on a serious note. That's very generous. We really appreciate it. Good to have you around for another year, buddy. We appreciate the support, dude. And yeah, the rest of you should follow suit now. Also, if you are cheap and or don't like us that much, but like us an amount, like the goddamn video on YouTube. And remember, we'll be back Saturday. And also remember, Activision devs do not QA test at all or play their own game.
And it sucks.